Yo, what's up, y'all? It's Cone back here again today with another video. Last time I was talking to y'all about the Minnesota Timberwolves, it was overwhelmingly positive. In that video, which came, I think, about like a month ago, I was talking about how I personally think the Timberwolves are a team that's in a great position to make a push for the play-in tournament this year. I think they could be right around that 10-9 seed-ish area. Maybe in some universe they make a playoff push even if everything really comes together for them. But it was different because before the season, I really felt like the Timberwolves didn't have a direction that they were going in. And now, for the first time ever at the end of this past season, I felt like they had a direction. Anthony Edwards had a great season. Karl-Anthony Towns, when he's healthy, is one of the best shooting big men of all time. D'Angelo Russell has shown to be productive when he's able to stay healthy and on the court. And I really think with the pieces that they have and having this pretty good offseason, which included keeping a guy like Jared Vanderbilt, bringing a good defensive point guard in Patrick Beverley, I feel like they've done a good job. And that's why I was shocked today to find out that they fired, out of the blue, their president of basketball operations, Gerson Rosas. It didn't make any sense. And not only was I shocked, everyone was shocked. Every tweet I saw was like, what just happened? How did they fire him? Like, where did this come from? And there were reports from like Ramona Shelburne, I believe, who said that some people in tune with the Timberwolves have kind of seen this coming, but none of us did. And it's kind of another dysfunctional move that comes from the Timberwolves, who have long been a dysfunctional franchise. And it sucks because I really thought they were going in a good direction, and this doesn't change anything about how I feel about their talent. I still think they're a super talented team that does have a lot of potential for this upcoming season, but it worries me because I thought things were finally going to get stable, and it doesn't seem like that's the case. And especially for a guy in Karl-Anthony Towns who has suffered through a lot of instability in this franchise and who just a couple weeks ago in an interview, I can't remember with who, said that he was really hoping and looking forward to some stability this season in Minnesota, and now has to deal with this. You might say to yourself, oh, Cat probably knew it was coming. I'm sure ownership communicated to him that Rosas might be fired. No, they didn't. Because right as this report came out, Karl-Anthony Towns tweeted WTF ... He found out like you and I did. The star, the supposed corner of this franchise, found out that the president of basketball operations for the franchise was going to be fired at the same time that you and I did. That doesn't make sense. Karl-Anthony Towns deserves better from the Minnesota Timberwolves than they have given him over the course of his career. He has dealt with a lot of dysfunction and a lot of mediocrity for a player that is really good and I think deserves a lot better, and if put in a winning situation could be one of the best players in this league, but he hasn't been put in that spot. They had one season with Jimmy Butler on the roster where they made the playoffs, and then him and Tom Thibodeau butted heads, and Andrew Wiggins wasn't working hard enough, and Cat was soft, whatever, and ultimately everything blew up in their face, and they traded Jimmy Butler off. And since then, they haven't been back to the playoffs, and they really haven't been close. Now, they've got a guy in Anthony Edwards, who is a stud. I think Anthony Edwards is going to be great, and he had a great second half to his season. So why would you not just keep things going? Rosas had a great offseason. I really think over his 2-year tenure, he's done a great job of building this team up, going from a team that had relatively no direction after the Jimmy Butler debacle to a team that I think is on the verge of something big. They've got a lot of young talent. D'Lo, Anthony Edwards, Malik Beasley took a big step up this past season. Karl-Anthony Towns, Jaden McDaniels is really solid. Jared Vanderbilt, who I mentioned, they are showing potential. So why are you giving up on that now? It doesn't make sense. Maybe it's because of the ownership change. That could be it. But even so, why would you let him do the whole offseason before firing him? Why would you not fire him before the offseason? If what Ramona Shelburne said is true, and they've been thinking about this for a few weeks, a few months, or just people saw it coming, why would you not do it earlier in the offseason and then figure out who your interim is going to be, or even who your new permanent president of basketball operations will be, so they can build the team the way that they want to? Now you're going to throw a new president of basketball operations into the mix, who I guarantee you isn't going to like the roster quite the same way that Rosas did, and so I'm sure more trades are going to come. I'm sure more shifting and changing around of personnel is going to come. And that's not stability. That's not the stability that Cat was preaching about and hoping for in his interview. And Cat has given everything to this franchise. If you didn't know, Karl-Anthony Towns has had a really tough past few years in his life. His mother passed away due to COVID-19. He's had to deal with the pandemic. He had a car crash. He got COVID himself. Cat has been through so much personally over these last couple months. And still through all of that, he has played for this team. If Karl-Anthony Towns stepped completely away from basketball for the rest of his life during that time, I wouldn't have blamed him because he was going through a lot. If he took a whole year off, if he took a few months off, I wouldn't have blamed him. But he went healthy, he came out and he played basketball for the team, and he did his best every single night. He gave them all he could, going through a lot of personal turmoil that I personally don't think I could have dealt with the same way that he did. He is amazing, and that's one of the reasons why he's one of my favorite players in the league, is because of just how he deals with adversity, how he pushes through and looks at everything in such a positive light. It's really inspiring to watch, and despite all that he's gone through, all he's asked for is stability. He wants to be in Minnesota. He wants a chance to win in Minnesota. He said it himself. He wants to build something here. But every time things start to get built up, they fall apart again and again, and the front office keeps making decisions without consulting him. Halfway through last season, the Timberwolves fired their head coach, Ryan Saunders. I don't blame them. He wasn't doing very well as a coach. They were bad. I think they were like 7-24 when he got fired. And the coach that they hired, Chris Finch, did a fantastic job halfway through the season when he came in. They won a lot more games. They ended up getting a worse pick, which didn't matter anyways because the pick the pick conveyed in the trade that they dealt it away and whatever. They didn't end up getting their first round pick, and a lot of that was because of the winning that they did, but they helped to build a winning culture, and I think that's a big thing you need. You need stability, and you need to build a winning culture at some point in your rebuild. I liked it. I like what they did. The problem was how they handled the firing of Ryan Saunders. If you didn't know, they fired him, and like 20 minutes, maybe even less than that, later, they've got a new head coach in Chris Finch, whose team he was an assistant on the Toronto Raptors. They had just played, like the night before, or even that night. So they were interviewing him behind Ryan Saunders' back, someone whose father, a legend of this franchise, died very recently. They hired this coach behind his back without telling him, fired him out of the blue, and also did not tell Karl-Anthony Towns or any of the players. Towns said it was shocking. He really liked Ryan Saunders. They were friends, they were close, and they fired him out of the blue without telling their supposed franchise cornerstone. He deserves better than that. You have to at some point do better. If today a report came out that Karl-Anthony Towns wants out of Minnesota, I wouldn't blame him at all. I wouldn't. And I don't think Timberwolves fans would blame him either. When I tweeted out that the Timberwolves were bugging for the stuff that they're doing right now, not a single Timberwolves fan defended it. Not a single one. Because they know what they're doing is crazy. They know what they're doing is wrong and that it doesn't make sense. I don't understand why they can't find some functionality. Why are they always so dysfunctional? What is going on in Minnesota? I still think their talent's really good. This doesn't change anything that I said in that previous video, which if you didn't see it, go check it out. But they have to do better by Karl-Anthony Towns. If he requests out, I wouldn't blame him. And that would be a massive failure by the Minnesota franchise if they let him walk. Because he has, like I said, time and time again, said that he wants to be in Minnesota, said that he wants to build something, said that he loves the city, he loves the fans. And Timberwolves fans, in addition to Cat, deserve better than this. They don't deserve all this mediocrity. They deserve a team that is going to go into this next season and compete for the playoffs and that is trying to build a culture. You know how you don't build a culture? Randomly firing people and not telling your best players. That's not how you do it. I'm sure we're going to figure out the reason for why this firing happened at some point soon. That's how the NBA works. We always figure it out. There are too many reporters. There are so many sources. The league, people get talking. We will figure out why he was fired specifically soon. And for Timberwolves fans' sake, I hope it's not some dumb reason. I hope it's not some argument. I hope it's not just some random thing that happened that got him fired despite doing a really good job. If it was something serious and something comes out that they figured out, cool, then maybe I'm wrong completely and it had to happen. But even still, tell your franchise player. Don't let him figure out through tweets. That's how he feels like he can't trust the front office. That's how you develop distrust. That's how you develop a feeling of betrayal and a feeling like you're not involved at all. Let me know what you think about all this. I appreciate y'all watching. Let me know what you think about the Timberwolves. Was this dumb? I saw rumors that if they were or that their new interim president of basketball operations probably won't hang around too long, and that there's a chance they're going to go out and try and hire Elton Brand of the Philadelphia 76ers. And if you don't know what he did as a GM, he gave Al Horford and Tobias Harris, given both solid players, max contracts and let Jimmy Butler walk when he was in Philly. So that's where things are at right now. We'll see if that's actually the hiring, but let me know what you think about all this. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you like this video. Let me know what you think about Karl-Anthony Towns. Should he ask out? Should he keep trying to stick it out? Is this as big of a deal as me and other people are making it out to be? Let me know in the comment section below. I appreciate you watching. I will see y'all later. Real One Say It Back.